Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Centrefold card. I'm going to be using the same stamp set, which is Charming Duck Pond with the matching dies, and also the Lily Pond Designer Series paper. It opens up like that and stands up like that. It's slightly bigger than an C6 card, so it's 4 1/4 instead of 4 1/8 by 5 3/4, but it does still fit into our Stampin' Up envelopes, which I have one here. Okay, and it still leaves enough for the extra bulk here for the envelope to expand. I'm not making this exact design. And the exact design, I haven't actually made one like it before, so I'm on a bit of a wing and a prayer. So I'm going to start off by showing the card pieces that you're going to be needing. So first of all, a piece of basic white, which measures 5 3/4 inches by 11.5 inches. And these measurements and the centimetre equivalent will be in the box below, together with the American sizes. So the sizes I'm giving are for the inches for A4 cardstock users. And then you will need 4 pieces of Granny Apple green cardstock, and these should measure 1 7/8 inches by 5.5 inches. And on top of that, you need 4 pieces of the Designer Series paper from Pond Lane, and these measure 1 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. Then you need 4 pieces of Granny Apple green that measure 1 1/4 inches by 5.5 inches. And you need 4 pieces of Designer Series paper from Pond Lane that measure 1 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. Let me just show you the last piece, then I want to explain about these. And then you will need some scraps of basic white and Granny Apple green. Now, this is a piece that I want to use in the middle of my card. And for the panels on the front of the card, so like these two here, I wanted them to be a picture that's just been like cut in half. So you've got the the duck with the little ducklings there, so those two are going to go on the front. So those were cut out of a sheet that was obviously the same as this. And then I wanted another 2 designs that were similar so that I could put on the back like that. Okay, so what I did was I took this as a complete sheet, and this is take 2, so this has already been stuck together. I had left all this free so that you could actually see it a lot easier than this. But I took one sheet like that, oops, and I cut it to 5 5/8. No, 5 and what's that single panel? 5 3/8. Okay, so that's 5 3/8, and that is 1 1/8 across. So I took 1 1/8 off that side, 1 1/8 off that side, and that bit is the bit that I'm going to be using in the middle. I hope that makes sense. The reason I'm not bothered about these not actually making a complete picture is because they would be going on my card this way, which doesn't really get seen. So as long as it's the same theme, then I'm happy with that. Okay, so there, those. Let's put that there. First of all, we need to do some scoring on here, and I can see that there's a raised edge there, which is where it has been cut on my trimmer. And as both sides of this is going to be seen, I like just to flatten those down. The front side should be okay as long as I kept the piece of cardstock in the same direction, facing upwards in the same direction with all of the pieces. So I'm going to use my scoreboard for this. But if you prefer to use your trimmer, please go for it. Now the reason this is take 2 is because I scored this bit wrong, so concentrate. This is a bit that I did wrong. I found out obviously when I folded it, that didn't work out. So, right, okay, so first one is 1.5 inches, 3 5/8 inches, 7 7/8 inches, and 10 inches. Now if we fold this, if I've done it properly this time, the centre bits are going to meet up with each other. So first of all, it's a valley fold. I always fold over and watch what I'm doing just to make sure I am going straight. And then the next fold is a valley. So make sure that all lines up again. I tend to turn it around the other side, and then again you want a mounting fold, and then the last one is a valley fold. Now if I've done this correctly, these two will meet. There we go. Okay, brilliant. So that's good. So my first step is I am going to be putting all of my layers on, and while I'm doing that I'm going to give you a quick rundown of why I've been away for a couple of weeks. I did explain when I did my last video that I would be away. I thought I'd just be away for a week, but it turned out it was 2, so sorry about that. But I saw my oncologist and he said the good news is that your CT scan is saying that you are in remission, which is fantastic news, so please praise the Lord for that, and thank you all very much for your prayers, but please keep them coming because there's still question marks. He said the only thing is that your tumour markers have gone up again. Now I knew this because it's been happening every month, and he said that they're watching for a trend. So I said, well obviously the trend is it is going up, so where do we go from here? And he's arranged for me to have a full body PET scan, because I'd said to him, if there's no cancer in my body, as in my trunk from my throat down to the tops of my thighs, then maybe there's something in my legs, arms or my head. So he's arranging for me to have a full body scan, PET scan, which will be next week, because you're watching this, if you're watching this, the day it goes live, it's Sunday. So yeah, I've got a PET scan. During the 2 weeks I've been off, I've also seen another consultant who has arranged for me to have a lung function test, which I did this last week. Also I'm having a bronchoscopy, which is the same as a endoscopy, but instead of having a camera going down into your tummy, this one sends a camera down into your lungs. He has also seen my CT scans, and he can't see anything seriously wrong, which again, good news, so you know, it's all going in the right direction. I also had my cataracts done. That's going really well. I've had my first 4-day checkup. That's good. I've got a 6-week checkup soon. Well, 4 weeks I think. And so what was the other one that I did? That was, yeah, so that was the eyes and having the checkup. That was another 2 appointments. So I think that's probably about it for me. Although I have been to the hairdressers, and I'm really excited to say that I don't have to wear my turban anymore, because I have hair and I have a hairstyle now. Not a hairstyle that I want to keep, but I am grateful that it is hair and it is a I don't have to wear a turban anymore. Okay, so you see how I've got the picture, because I've cut this piece in half. I mean, most of that's going to be covered up anyway, but it was an idea that I had, and I went with it. So I'm going to do these 2 as well. I'm going to do those like that. Oh yes, I know the other one. I went to see my haematologist, and she's been looking after me for the last 5 years, because she was referred to by my gastroenterologist, who noticed there was something not right with my blood. So she's been monitoring me, and she has finally discharged me, so that's good news. So it's all up for me at the moment, and I can't be more grateful to God than I am. Last night, oh no, not last night because it's Sunday for you now, on Thursday night, hubby and I actually went out for a meal. Now, I haven't been out for an evening except for occasions when I've been able to get ready start getting ready at 5 o'clock or something, because by 6 o'clock I've been absolutely shattered. So there we go, that's all of that done. Now this bit, this is a special bit. So what I want to do, oh, I've forgotten that bit there, didn't I? You need a piece of Granny Apple Green that measures 4 inches by 5.5 inches. So let me do that. Is that 5.5 inches? Yes. So 4 by 4 inches. Let's keep that nearby. Let's rest that on there. Now this is going to be my layer that's going in here. But what I'm going to do, this is an experiment. These are the dies. Let me show you the stamp set. The Charming Duck Pond is a 3-step stamping, because that duck, you can stamp that as well to colour the body, and you can stamp that. That's the beak and that's the feet. The baby duckling there, that is also colours his body. And have I told this wrong? Oh yeah, this one here is for this one. That's his beak, that's his feet, legs. This one and this one go together, and this one. So there's 3 for there, 3 for there. So they all line up together, and the frog onto the thingy there. And you've got dies to die cut all 3 ducks. That would die cut this. The frog is that one. Yeah, that's a frog. And you've got the other bits and pieces. As you know, I always die cut on the back here. That's a standalone duck, and it's got a wing and a beak that you could do to go with it. That's the baby duck, which is not a stamp but a standalone, which is what I've used in here. Okay. You can do the beaks separately or redo it with the die. But I decided I wanted to use this. Okay, so my plan is I'm going to use that die to cut out a window here, and I'm going to have this behind it. So through this you can see this. Okay, now I'm confident this is going to work. Please bear with me. So I'm going to take this, tidy up a little bit as I go. Let's move that. I think they've been there long enough, haven't they? And so I need my, oops, was that me? Sorry about that. I need my big job. And I have to say, I have found a new product that I love using. It's not a Stampin' Up product. Stampin' Up do this product as a sheet, but it is so handy to have it on a roll. So I'm going to show you what I've bought, and I saw this being used by an American demo, and at one time this wasn't available in the UK, but it is now, and it's just tape, and it's post-it note tape, so it's tacky all over, and it is so gentle. I have been using it for all sorts. As you know, I do use a magnetic board on here, but when I'm die cutting stamped images, I started using this to hold them in place, because sometimes they do shift. Right, enough talking now, let's concentrate. I wonder if I I can't turn this sideways, can I? A little bit, okay. Yep, I think I can do this. So that is the 4 inches by 5.5 inches, and I am going to put this in the centre. I'm not measuring it, I'm just eyeballing it. That bit there looks about the same as that. Got about the same amount of gap at the side there. All I want is that it is more or less straight across like that. So what I'm going to do now is cut this through. There we go. So remove this carefully. Okay, so that comes out beautifully. Oh, don't play me up now. Oh, that's it. Oh, on a wing and a prayer there, wasn't I? Okay, so that's it, about halfway through. You'll see that you've had a lily pad cut out there. So you may want to keep that to stick it back in there. So I'm going to leave that there for the minute. That can go over there. Now the next bit is guesswork. Not guesswork, but you need to work out exactly what size you need here. So if I bring my card back, I don't want to lose that. Okay, so that's going to be going on there. I will pop that back in, I think. Depends what shows underneath. Now this, I can choose how much of the picture that I want. Do I want to go up and get these in the bulrushes a bit? Or do I want to come down a bit? No, I don't want to come down, I want to go up. Okay, so just decide exactly where you want your piece to go. Make sure that both pieces are straight. Now I'm looking at this, judging it by here. It's not centred at the moment, but that's okay. But I'm also going to make sure that this is more or less straight. Okay, with this scene it doesn't really matter. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So first of all, I'm going to take a pencil and I am going to draw a line across there. So I'm going to use my cutter just to cut that bit off. Nothing else is showing anywhere. So that's going to be fine. That's the only cutting I'm going to do. In fact, because this isn't going to be seen, you could actually cut it off. In fact, no, I'm going to use my trimmer because it's right here, isn't it? Okay, so that's where my line is, and I'm going to go cutting above it, probably about 1/4 inch above. Now that won't be fit for anything, so pop that in the bin. Now I can't give you a measurement for this piece because it depends on which design you use, and it also depends on where you want to put this part. I did think that maybe this needs a bit of decoration on it. Maybe if there was a little stamp in the could do the lily pads, I suppose, couldn't I? Should we quickly have a go at that, see what it looks like? I will have to stick with it because I don't have time to change it around now. I think that looks a bit plain and I don't really want to use an embossing folder. So this is Granny Apple Green. I need a stamp. Let's take a stamp off of this one for a minute. Right, where are you? This one. I'm doing it in, oh, I can't use a big block like that. So let me just get, oops, give me a smaller one. That's better. If I use a big one, I'm only going to finish up getting the ink all over the place. So let's get a scrap of paper as well. And if I put that straight, then I can make sure I keep the block straight. Yes, that's good. I'll get the worst of it off there. Come up here. Yes. I'll bring it up closer in a minute in case you can't see how it's going on there. There we go. This is what happens when I'm designing on the hoof, so to speak. So that should be alright. I'll leave that there. Okay. Only a few of them, but it just takes away the blandness of it. So I'm now going to pop that onto there where I want it to go. Make that straight. Make that straight. Turn it over. Oh my goodness, look how close that is. Let me just take a little bit off there. There we go. So that should be, if I line it up like that, that is going to be perfect. But one other thing I do like to do beforehand is I like to give these bulrushes a bit of colour, and this was an idea I got from Amanda, who's in my team, and I've been going to Amanda's classes to get myself back into crafting. Right, so this is Light Pretty Peacock, which is one of the colours in this set, and one of the classes we used this, and this is an idea that she gave me. We've come full circle because I met Amanda through her husband, who wanted to buy her a gift. He went online and found me because they live quite close to me. And I started sending emails to her husband and he eventually said to her, I think you'll be more interested in this. So yes, she started getting the emails and she came to my classes, and when she came to classes she thought, oh, I can do this. So she's running her own business now, making her own videos, and turned it all around because I now go to her classes. Okay, so that makes it pop a little bit. So let me, now we know that that's going to fit there because I just cut that bit off. And I'm happy with the way that positions itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around here with my pencil. And this is going to tell me where I need to keep my glue. And I want to make sure I got some glue on the grasses here and the bulrushes. Here we go. although this is all going to be stuck down, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do all the gluing straight away. I tried that with one and it's now sitting on my shelf with a piece of wax paper at the back of it. So there we go, nice and easy. Okay, I want to make sure it all adheres down around the edges. There we go, just make sure I've got it up the right way. Oops. Okay, so there we go, that looks nice, doesn't it? It is so good when we get these kind of dies from Stampin' Up because they can be used in such a variety of ways. And I've lost my, oh here it is. Put a little bit of glue in there. There we go. If you wanted, you could colour some of these in a darker colour. But I think that's good for me. So then I'm going to adhere that down there. And I just need to do the front of the card then. And because I've chosen such a patterned paper for the panels, I'm not going to worry about adding extra decoration on there. There we go. I am really so pleased with that. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, and plenty of room to write sentiment on the back. Put that in there, that in there. Now for the sentiment, I'm using this, which is from the Charming Duck Pond, and I'm using the Happy Birthday. I'm using Granny Apple Green and a scrap of paper. Will you go that way? You should fit on, I think. But I'm going to go a long way just in case. That's good. So I'm going to die cut that using a die from the Unbounded Love dies. I bought this purely and simply for the dies. I didn't buy the stamp set, which was all sentiments, but I thought this was really lovely. And this one here has been great for doing Happy Birthday from Charming Duck Pond, and also for the Happy Birthday that I've been using from the retired Go-To Greetings. And the ones that I've been using for the front of my cards, I've been using either these here from Nested Essentials, and I think I'm going to use these again, these are my favourites, or the circles here. So I think it was numbers 2 and 3. Yes, so I want that in Granny Apple Green, that in white, and I need to die cut that. I have already done some of the ducks. I did them earlier. I stamped them and then I coloured them. I started off by using the 2-3 step stamping, and then I had a go at doing the actually painting them myself. One of the cards I'm going to show you is a masculine one using the airplane set, Adventurous Sky I think it's called. But I'm not happy with my colouring at the moment. I think I've lost the knack of it, so I need to get a bit of practice on that. So I practiced doing, I think I did 3 lots of all the ducks. So is that, and the green one, I need that. And I also know that to layer the sentiment onto a piece of Granny Apple Green, I need a straight piece of the cardstock, which measures 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/8 of an inch, I believe. Let me just double check that. Put all my dies and everything over there. See how easy that comes off? No tearing the cardstock at all. So do I have a piece? But let me just double check. I know it's written on my pad down here. So what have we got? 3/4 by 2 3/8. And I think I should be able to cut it out of here. 2 3/8. Yep. By 3/4. It can be a bit under 3/4 if you've used that die. The card that I saw that inspired me to do this card, it had just this piece with the sentiment on it as a closure. Again, I'll show you. But I found that if I separated the two and put the sentiment a bit lower, like I did this, and I put them on separate pages, that does help to keep that together better than not having this piece. So that's why I'm doing these separately. And I'm going to show you the painting that I spent time doing this morning as well. There we go. That and that. Okay, so let me see. I'll use, and I think the tall one's better if I want to do it upright. Will you go sideways? Okay, let's go sideways. So what I've done here, I used smoky slate for the body, light smoky slate, then I went round the edge with dark and then I blended it. I've used peach pie for the feet and the beak, and I also did that part of the wing. And then once that had dried, I went over the top of it with Pretty in Pink, so it's got like a mottled look. And then this I did with light Granny Apple Green, and once that had dried, I went over it with light Balmy Blue. So it's got like a more mottled type of effect. So I'm going to see if I can get a baby on here as well. So let's get some, I think I'll put this straight on. I do this? Right, okay. I don't like popping things like this up on dimensionals where you can see the paint. So what I do is I die cut a white one and then I adhere the two together. I don't know if that's me just being overly fussy, probably is. But I think that if anybody's curious and they look underneath it, I just don't think it looks too good. So there we go. You wouldn't know. So now I can put some dimensionals on that, if I can find what I've done with them over here. Right, we have one for the head, one for the tail, one for the feet, and two for the body. I hope you like this card and you give it a try. I hope I've explained it in an easy manner to follow. Right, do we want this at the back and the baby at the front? Yes, we do. Or do we want the baby at the back? Babies are normally at the back, aren't they? There we go. And that's one dimensional. And then, because I didn't like just a plain white background, I used my blue, balmy blue. Did I put it away? Yes, I did. Balmy blue pen. Used the short one and just did a series of 3 dots. Haven't done this for ages. I mean, even ages ago, since before I took my break. Let's do some little individual ones. Now, all we need to do is put these last 2 bits together, and I'll show you how I do that. Now this one is going to go on here. In fact, I might put it down here so you can see that. And then that one could go up there. That's a good idea. Okay, so what I do is I position this so that I've got the same gap on both sides. No, I start off by turning it over, making sure it's facing the right way. Turn it over and then line it up. Got the same amount of gap there, and then again with my pencil I just come over the white bit. This is to tell me where I can put my glue. It's obviously I don't want to glue my card shut after all this. Hold them down because they are quite thick. Then line that up, let that one down, make sure it's straight, and then same for this one, position it, same sort of gap there. That's good. And then pencil on the opposite side. And it's because it's on the opposite side that it helps to keep it closed. Not that I think keeping it closed is terribly important, because it's either going to be in an envelope or it's going to be sitting on a shelf somewhere. Okay, so make sure that that's straight. And you've got the same sort of gap there. There we go. So that's today's card. I hope you like it. It's a bit more involved than my previous ones, but I hope that's okay. I'm really, really pleased with that. Very, very pleased. Let me just show you the other cards that I've made. Can't see what I did with the one that I've shown. Oh, it's standing up, that's why. Okay, so there's that one as well. The first card I did was the one that didn't have the sentiment down here. It's got it there, and it just doesn't do anything about keeping it closed. Well, it's doing it better now because I have kept it under heavy weight for a long time. But that is from, did I bring it over? Yes, it's from Flowers of Beauty. And what I've done underneath there and there and there, I haven't done it there because I want to quickly show you how I did that. One of the dies in that set, which is I'm not going to actually stick it in, but I used the narrower one of that, which is that. I took a piece of paper that's 3/4 of an inch thick, and I think that was my one that yep, that's 5.5 inches. So what I did was I die cut it, removed that, used that to put it back on there. And then I put a little bit of glue in each of those, and then adhered all these flowers back in there. So that's another little tip for you to make your cards a bit different. So there was that one. Just got 3 more. I've got this one from Painted Lavender. Okay, at the back. And this one was done with the Charming Duck Pond paper, which is the Lily Pond Lane, and I've done it as a flowery design. No fish there, no ducks or anything. So this is why I say it's such a great design. And this is the masculine one I did with the planes, but I'm not really happy with the way that I've coloured that at all. And I did the die cut one for the inside. Okay, so great card. Loads of ideas of how you can do it. Please let me know which is your favourite. I think my 2 favourites are going to be the 2 duck ones. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I've used here today, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' app shop in the box below. And if you do shop with me during May 24, please use my HOSTESS code so that I can send you a free gift when I send you the handmade thank you card and thank you gift, as my way of saying thank you very much for choosing me as your demonstrator. So many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.